Okay, good morning, world. How are we today? Okay. Look, this morning we are talking about a topic we haven't actually spoken about in a while. Trump, Netanyahu, Iran, Lebanon, Hezbollah, all of that good stuff that we took a break from. Okay. Look, yes, I intentionally took a break from this topic because I felt that it was serving me no good to keep watching things about it, reading things about it, and creating videos about it, because it was all just making me so stressed out, frustrated, angry, quite frankly. Yeah, and I just needed a break from it, especially the timing in my life, with having a baby and everything. It just, was making me grumpy. Anyway, so look, this morning I have stumbled across some articles and some YouTube videos, from Sky News and others that are talking about how Trump has, gotten bored with negotiations with Iran, because he started he didn't start the war, but he participated in starting this huge war with Iran that had catastrophic, consequences economically, and in other ways, for the entire world. And now he's bored of it, not too surprising there. And apparently he has tried to negotiate between Israel and Hezbollah, through representatives of the leaders of Hezbollah, which the US classifies as a terrorist organization. Anywho, he has tried to negotiate a ceasefire basically between them. And then, Netanyahu, of course, because he likes to try to portray himself as kingpin of the Middle East, he then turns to social media to make a statement that, their mission hasn't changed and that they will still be doing ground operations as previously intended. And they won't shoot if Hezbollah doesn't shoot, basically. Just the tone, the attitude that Netanyahu has is enough to destabilize any kind of negotiations. And it all comes down to trying to think of a different way of saying this. Look, I'm just gonna word it the way it's in my head, okay? Because it's taking too long to come up with something. But it's a cockfight, okay? It's men trying to basically prove who's the most dominant, who's got the most power, who's got the the most say in a situation, etc. Okay, and I think that Trump is 100% feeling the effects of the world hating him and criticizing him for his choices, his decisions, his participation in all of this, his escalation of things with Iran. He can make statements now talking about that he thinks that Netanyahu is crazy and the world hates you and hates Israel because of you, and You know, all this sort of stuff that he's allegedly been quoted saying, you know, in the last 24 to 48 hours. You know, he can put all that out there. He can say all that, but everyone thinks you're crazy too, Trump. Okay, everyone thinks you're stupid too. Everyone hates you too. Everyone thinks you're stupid too for what you've, you know, put the world through, what you put your own citizens in your own country through, but the effects you've had on citizens around the world. Okay. And you can also just stop acting so sweet and innocent, okay? Because you've got blood on your hands, mate. Blood on your hands, mate. All right. Should we go back over the dot point list of who was killed by American missiles? Wasn't it a school? Are we going to forget that? Are we going to sweep that under the rug? Are we? We're just going to blame Benjamin Netanyahu for everything. We're just going to say, oh, him. He's been doing all of this. He's crazy, and I'm just the negotiator. I'm just over here trying to be the good guy and stop all this. No, you're not, Trump. Who are you trying to fool, mate? That's like classic narcissist behavior, isn't it? You know, to be guilty and then to put on a mask of I'm a nice innocent guy. I'm trying to do the right thing over here. Oh, the world's getting mad at me. I'm not even doing anything wrong. It's that guy over there who's doing something wrong. Okay, I mean, it's 2026. We've all been well versed in narcissism, even. You know, I think we weren't the last couple of years. All you could see on YouTube was discussions about narcissists. We're all well versed. We all have eyes on all the politicians actually around the world, and what kind of psychopaths are leading each country with absolute zero, I would say, zero remorse for killing innocent lives, absolute zero remorse for destroying countries. Okay, not just with bombings, but like economically, you know, their power. Oh yeah, we'll just let people starve to death over here. We'll just let people have no electricity and whatnot over there. Oh yeah, we'll just let these people have no medical aid getting through over here. Oh yeah, we'll just bomb school children over here. Oh yeah, we'll just start taking out all these ships left, right and centre and just say, oh no, they were drug smugglers. They were drug smugglers. You know, shoot first, ask questions later. Isn't that what they do in America anyway? So Trump can get off his high horse and stop acting so innocent. You know, like it's all Benjamin Netanyahu being the big bad guy. We're not stupid. We don't forget. That's the whole thing here. That I think leaders around the world, I mean, to call them a leader, to call any of them leaders is really a joke, actually. The people who, through corruption and probably money handing over and you know, lies and misleading, calculated actions happen to be in charge. It's kind of a more accurate description. These people are slowly learning that citizens around the world are sick of it. We're sick of it. If we know right and wrong better than our own governments, if we have more value for the lives, if we hold more value for the lives of others in other countries in our hearts than what our leaders, our supposed leaders, display that they have. If we question things that our alleged leaders don't seem to question, don't seem to care about, don't seem to empathize about, don't you think that people around the world will start to look at this, start to analyze this, will start to question this, will start to wake up to the truth about matters? It's like, the ancient knowledge that people dig their own graves. And the alleged leaders of the countries, in all their individual ways, in their actions in their countries and in their actions in the world stage. Okay, they're all individually digging their own graves. And it's only a matter of time before information comes out, evidence comes out. Nowadays we've got a lot more than just TV news media, don't we? We've got people who spend a lot of their lives digging up information, reading all those long court documents that nobody else, has the time to sit around reading to find out information. People who pay money even to get access to information. People who submit applications of freedom for information. People who keep record of when information will be released by the governments because they have to, by certain dates and whatnot, and they're just waiting for that date so they can get that information. These politicians, these alleged leaders, prime ministers, presidents, even kings and queens, at the end of the day, they dig their own graves. And we're at a point in time where people aren't complicit the way they used to be. They still treat us like we're all just dum-dums and we're just going to believe whatever we're told. But that's not reality anymore. That's not true anymore. They create an education system that's supposed to dumb us down. I mean, it looks like they're teaching us information about things, right? But they teach you things that will be good for you to be a slave, get a job in their slave world, earn some slave tax dollars for them, pay to eat, to drink, to bathe, to cover your body in clothes. But people have been waking up for a very long time. Slowly. And they know that COVID actually woke people up in mass around the world. In mass. And people just won't swallow lies and manipulation and false narratives anymore. People have gone from being, predominantly distracted by, pop culture and games and movies and whatnot, to being thinkers. What they didn't want us to be. They did not want any of us to be thinkers, to analyze information, to analyze what we see happening in the world, to have empathy. They don't want you to have empathy. They pretend a lot of things. They don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to think. They don't want you to have empathy for others. And they definitely do not want you to stand up and do anything about anything. The world's changing, you know? And I think that the media does seem to be a bit more critical of leaders' actions as well these days, which is, you know, good to see that they're not just you know, openly kissing the butt cheeks of leaders anymore. But B, it also makes me think that they're doing that because they know, even TV news media, they know that they lost a lot of viewers and a lot of support from, you know, citizens with everything with COVID as well, because the news media was very complicit with the degradation and alienation and abuse, really, abuse caused to people during COVID. And, you know, that actually went on for years. It wasn't just 6 months. Okay, COVID was actually had effects, had its claws stuck into people's lives for years. There are some people who still, to this day, haven't recovered. Our family certainly hasn't recovered back the, you know, $100,000 that we lost during all of that time. Having to live off of our savings that was meant for buying a house. You know, the damage done to relationships. There was fallouts in so many ways. And I think that the, you know, alleged leaders around the world, they didn't anticipate that people would get angry and rise up the way that they did. They thought everyone would be a lot more complicit, like dumb little sheep. And that wasn't the case. And like I said, the world is changing. The world is changing. And you know, I just wanted to make this video because I'm not going to keep talking about what's happening in the Middle East or with Trump and Netanyahu and Iran and Hezbollah now as well. I'm not gonna keep making videos about it because quite frankly, I think that it's a waste of my life. I feel like it's all just a shit show. Sorry for swearing. You know, I'm sick of things taking my energy that are not worth it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll give my energy in prayer to all the people who are, you know, severely affected by this war, and you know, the people that have lost their lives, or the children that have lost their lives. My God. You know, but something I pray for most is that the people around the world wake up. Really, everyone needs to wake up and stand their ground more, because we can't keep living and let our children grow up and live in a world that is so dominated by evil and corruption and lack of empathy for human life, and just all of the injustice, you know, from you know, low scale to really high, is just it's not okay. It is not okay. And I mean, how can we even have things like, you know, caring about people's mental health, like are you okay days and all this sort of stuff, when like look at the world, look at what's going on. I mean, it's a surprise that people like aren't just like offing themselves like left, right, and center, to be honest, really. I mean, like, I can understand why people are just so depressed, so angry. You know, I can even understand why crime, um, you know, has been on the increase for years, because people are just like, well, look what the leaders are doing. You know, oh, okay, it's okay for them to go around murdering people, isn't it? You know, oh, it's okay for them to commit crimes. It's okay for the rich people not to pay their millions of dollars in taxes. Oh, but us little guys, you know, us little guys, you know, we better pay our little measly tax dollars, or otherwise we'll get thrown in jail. Oh, we better keep doing our slave job, or we'll be, you know, out in the cold on the streets. You know, oh, we better comply with what our government tells us that we have to do, otherwise we won't be able to keep going to our job. We won't be able to feed our children. And then the government will come along and take our children because we can't feed them, because we didn't get the jab, and then we can't work. You know, like, it's just, look at the world that we're living in. At some point in time, you have to stamp your foot down, you know, collectively around the world and say, enough. Enough. We deserve better than this. Our children deserve better than this. And all of this stuff with Trump and Netanyahu and Iran and all that, it's just another eye-opener like COVID was. It's just another, you know, stage event that really actually should wake people up more. Look what's going on. Does any of this seem okay to you? You know? Anywho, I'm not going to make any more videos about this topic because it's crap. And I'm home now and I have things to do, so I have to go. But look, thank you very much for listening, and I will see you all in another video soon.